Hi guys. um Welcome back to another video. So today is something special and something I really want to do. Um for the tribute video reactions, I want to steer away from Marvel for a sec and do something else because I recently got into this again. And I want to kind of either introduce you guys or drag you down memory lane with me, or well, memory lane. um and I have this red looking light around me today because red is a significant color to this thing, or person. Today we're going to do a TV series that I watched from start to finish 4 or 5 times. And that TV series is called Teen Wolf. Um, I love that show so much, and I wanted to find a video where this gives you everything. Everything. And I decided that we should do one specific character. Um, we're gonna do all of them, but I want to do one specific one because I actually found a really good video and a longish video for him. That character's name is Scott McCall. He's the main character of the show. So everything that happens in the show is from his perspective, I guess, and it starts with him getting bitten, and it just goes uphill from there. So red is a very distinct color in Teen Wolf because red is the color of alpha's eyes, which, if you watch the show, Scott becomes a true alpha. So he gets these red eyes. That's exactly what the title is of this video, is Scott McCall, a true alpha. And I thought we should watch it because Scott is absolutely one of my favorite characters. Duh. It's a I mean, who doesn't love Scott? He's a hero of the show, really. He's definitely one of my top 3 favorites in this show. I have a lot of favorites, but he's in like the top 2, top 3 of my list. So yeah, so let's get going. Just to give you guys a warning, if you haven't seen the show, there's gonna be more spoilers for the show because this is a video about it. So just give you guys a warning before we start.
Everything has been slipping through my fingers.
Now that sounds like far too world-weary a thing for a teenager to say.
Wait! You said the cure comes from the one who bit you.
Sorry.
You might want to try a different perspective. This is just entropy at work.
You alive in there?
And this is more of the natural way of the universe.
No.
But it doesn't necessarily mean it's falling apart.
Look at them! You see what they do? Wait, no, don't!
It's just changing shape.
For better or worse.
Hey, we'll get through this.
We really just want to help you reach your full potential.
Exactly.
By killing my friends.
Sometimes the people closest to you
He wants to make a killer out of
can be the ones holding you back the most.
Okay. If they're holding me back from becoming a psychotic nut job like you.
Are you really going to?
Ooh, that unfortunately is very true. It's very true.
If they're holding me back from becoming a psychotic nut job like you.
Are you really going to leave all of this up to a couple of kids?
Alpha, beta.
They're more capable than you think.
What are you, Scott?
What the hell?
hell is so special
She's an alpha.
about Scott McCall?
A couple of useless teenagers.
Some have more promise than others.
Your eyes were red. I'm not part of your pack.
I'm aware of a certain potential threat.
What did I teach you is the best way to eliminate a threat?
Then someone once taught me a very smart way to eliminate threat.
Get someone to do it for you.
Get someone else to do it for you.
A beta can become an alpha without having to steal or take that power. They call it a true alpha. It's one who rises purely on the strength of character.
It's a spiral.
And let me tell you, he definitely has character and totally deserves to be a true alpha. I would bow down to him if he was an alpha. You know, if he was real, I would bow down. I would just be like, okay. Without a second of a doubt.
Alpha is one who rises purely on the strength of character.
It's a spiral. Reminds us that we can all rise to one or fall to another. Betas can become alphas, but alphas can also fall to betas or even omegas.
True alpha.
Deucalion isn't after Derek.
The kind that doesn't have to steal his power from another.
He's after you.
Like Scott.
One that can rise by the force of his own will.
Why didn't you tell me?
Our little Scott.
You knew this would happen.
Because you might be an alpha,
I believed.
but you're not mine.
From the moment I knew you were bitten.
Because I trust you.
How did you do that?
You're not an omega.
Why?
You're an alpha now, Scott.
You're already an alpha of your own pack.
You okay? Yeah, we're okay. We're all okay.
I believed.
Because you always seem to want to do the right thing.
I'm an alpha now. I don't want to keep watching people.
Sorry, I have to stop for a second and just take in this video and just take in how amazing it is to see all these clips of Scott being a beta to Scott being an alpha, and why Scott is so special. Because he is a very special person, and he definitely earned a true alpha power. He's definitely earned that power of being a true alpha.
I don't want to keep watching people die.
I'm not sure you have much choice about that.
Let me help you.
Wendigos don't need help.
Maybe I do.
That's a lot of burden to carry, Scott.
I don't care. We're gonna help him. The bite is a gift.
The bite is a gift.
What if he doesn't want our help?
I don't want it. You will. He will.
Not all monsters do monstrous things.
Like who?
So you and me, Scott,
We're brothers now.
we're brothers now.
I'm not a murderer,
Like Scott?
but you are a predator.
We're predators.
No, we're predators, but we don't have to.
You don't have to be killers.
Become the alpha you're meant to be.
What are you smiling about?
Become a killer.
You're gonna be good at this.
You're not a monster.
It's just so funny how they're like, to be a true alpha, you have to become a killer. And throughout the show, Scott obviously proves them wrong. That you don't need to be a killer to have alpha powers, you know? And that's why Scott became a true alpha, because of how he runs things and how he chooses to help people than kill them, you know? And which is it's a lot of burden to bear and a lot of weight on his shoulders, but he doesn't care. He'd rather save people than kill people and become a hideous murderer. And that is why Scott started his own pack with Styles and Lydia and Allison and Isaac. Like, those people saw Scott as their leader because of how he runs things. And that's just one peek of it. That's just one peek of his personality and character. Is he really doesn't want to kill anybody. And just because he's a true alpha doesn't mean that he can just go and kill people, you know? That's not how he runs at all.
What are you smiling about?
Become a killer.
You're gonna be good at this.
You're not a monster. You're a werewolf. Like me.
I haven't seen that color on you.
Because not only do you have the power to do something,
It suits you.
you care enough to do it.
Do you know how lucky you are?
What do you mean? We're here to save a life.
Scott's a true alpha.
Not end one.
That means he didn't get his powers because he was born with it. He didn't get it by stealing or by killing someone. He earned it.
There's no such thing as fate.
This town needs someone to protect it.
There's no such thing as werewolves. I want to find out who did this.
What are we supposed to do?
Same thing you've always done. And I'm gonna stop them. Protect your friends. Protect each other.
Someone like you.
What is that?
Symbol. Symbol of an alpha in his pack.
Yep, that is truly an alpha symbol. That is the symbol of Scott's pack. That's why Scott got that tattoo on his arm. That signifies that he's a leader of a pack, and that's the symbol. Because I don't exactly know why the circle, but I think the circle within the circle is that we're all in the same bubble, you know? Like we're all in the same thing, and I think that's what it means. I am not entirely sure, but knowing like Scott, I think it's mostly that. But yeah.
Symbol. Symbol of an alpha in his pack.
What do you want?
I
want to know about Scott McCall.
Who's back?
I want to know.
want to see what you're made of.
Scott's.
You don't fight for a leader. You fight for a leader's cause.
What kind of alpha he really is.
What cause?
Scott's always been about one thing.
I know who Scott McCall is.
Saving his friends.
I'm gonna save everyone.
I don't know why we're going after a beta when there's an alpha on the field.
Because an entire pack of alphas went after McCall, and he was the one left standing.
Show me the man who took down the Kalian and broke the Argent.
When there's no chance of winning, he keeps fighting. When all hope is lost, he finds another way. And when he's beaten down, he stands up again.
I'm a true alpha. You have no idea what I can do.
And that right there and all this video is exactly why Scott decides to stay like stay friends with Styles in the beginning, because even though Styles might be human, Styles is the only Styles, because they started it all together. Styles is like the person that will bring Scott back to himself, make Scott realize what you're doing is wrong. And just because you're a werewolf, you don't have to be a killer. And that is really true. And Scott really, really, really demands that. Really gets that. The one thing he doesn't want to be is a killer. And any other thing is to save as many people as he possibly can. Which is nuts, but that's Scott for you.
Sweetheart, everything okay?
Something's changed.
You and your friends, you're trying to protect everyone.
There's no hope.
Have you been doing this the whole time?
I think it's because of me.
First love, you remember what that's like?
I'm in the arms of my first love. The first person I've ever loved.
Yeah, trust me, I remember. And I don't know how to fix it.
I mean, how are you all still alive?
We're trying to fight for him.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure you'd kill for him. But are you willing to die for him?
All of us are.
It's always a choice. Yeah, well, I can't do what you can, Scott. I know you wouldn't have done it.
You can do things that nobody else can do.
Probably would have just figured something out, right?
We can't all be perfect.
I try. Yeah, because you're Scott McCall. You're the true alpha.
We can't all be true alphas.
Guess what? All of us can't be true alphas. Some of us have to make mistakes.
Every time I try to fight back, it just gets worse. People keep getting hurt.
Some of us have to get our hands a little bloody sometimes. Some of us are human.
Idiot. Teenage boy so incorruptible he wouldn't shed the blood of his enemies even when justified.
Killing them isn't the right thing to do.
You can stay and I'll break something else. Or you can run.
What if it's the only thing to do? My mother told me you were a man of vision once. We're letting you go because we hope you can be that man again.
Every leader suffers loss.
You know, you had all the power in the world and you didn't know what to do with it.
Can't you trust anyone?
Because you trust everyone!
You don't deserve your power.
You'll get them back. You have to.
Why would they come back?
Because you're their leader.
We survived an alpha pack.
And even when a leader thinks they have nothing left to give,
Dark Druid, professional assassins.
there's still one thing.
We could survive Dread Doctors and Chimeras too.
It was more than a symbol, wasn't it?
Give them
It
hope.
was a promise to reunite them. You of all people, Scott, should know what happens to a lone wolf.
Yes. Don't you know the lone wolf never survives without a pack?
You tell him to run.
Leaders don't run.
Scott's still alive and he knows how to save them.
We fight back now, right?
So why aren't all of you running for your lives?
All of them.
What did you think we were gonna do?
Please tell me he's got a plan.
Everyone said Gerard always had a plan. Drop us. Because we don't run.
He's got a plan.
I had a plan too.
Now that sounds like an alpha.
This great family is decimated by a teenage boy.
No one dies tonight.
Mountain ash!
2 bands, right?
That's another thing that I just like thought about is when Derek was alpha, if you guys remember that in season 2, like how he treated Erica, Isaac, and Boyd was not the right thing to do. He was very vicious with them. Isaac, who had an abusive father, like went to being a werewolf, being hit to control himself. Like, that's not how it works. That's not how a leader should be. And that's why Scott's different as well, because when Scott becomes alpha, he doesn't use his alpha powers or voice on his beta. Like, Liam's done a lot of things in the show, but Scott can use his alpha voice and teach him a lesson, like smack him and make him bleed, but that's not how Scott is. That's not who he wants to be. Which is interesting to think about how different Scott and Derek were as alphas were. Scott is still an alpha, but it just proves like there's 2 different leaders. There's one that's mean and very not violent, but hits back, and then there's the Nair leader who forgives you and gives you a chance to redeem yourself, stuff like that. So, not that Derek's a bad person, it's just how Derek was taught. How Derek was taught is different how Scott was taught, if that makes sense. But that doesn't mean Derek is a bad person. I think meeting Scott really showed him how you can control yourself without so much anger and like broad shoulders, So it's like interesting to think about that.
2 bands, right? What does it mean?
Who's that?
Me and my dad. I don't know. It's just something I traced with my fingers. I'm gonna be better this year. A better student, a better son, better friend, a better everything.
You boys are gonna stick together. You're gonna look out for each other.
I promise.
And you're gonna have each other's backs. You got it?
We got it.
That's where all of this started.
You are when it comes to war.
That's why we're gonna make peace.
With Gerard?
Lydia, you know what's coming.
And where it's all gonna end.
We all keep using the same word.
War.
So what stops the war from happening?
Peace summit.
Right. We meet face to face with Gerard, find out what he wants, and then we stop all this before it gets any worse.
The last time Gerard was at a peace summit was with the Kalian.
I had a vision. A vision of peace.
He blinded him and then killed everybody else, including his own men.
Or maybe he changed you.
You have a soft spot for him.
You're the one that let him live. Gerard hasn't. I'm not a murderer. Yeah, we can find a way to make peace.
You fight.
Do you still think you're gonna get through all of this without killing anyone?
If you lied and it gets people hurt,
All you saw was him.
I'll be back.
He destroyed our family.
You might just survive this.
You might be able to kill him with a look.
Sometimes history does repeat itself, Scott.
Only if you don't learn.
But you'd be surprised at how resourceful he can be.
Sometimes even then, fate conspires against you.
I thought that would be with me forever. Or the ones that I lost. I'm sorry that they don't trust you. And neither do I. Some people I thought I could never trust.
You and the Kalian?
Ended up saving my life. More than once. You know, we always seem to find each other.
Very true. Very true. Like Chris Argent, man, like how he started from the beginning. He was a werewolf hunter and who was killing all the werewolves. And then towards, as the show goes on, he becomes part of Scott's pack and ally. And instead of killing a bunch of werewolves, he helps Scott. Like the villains that Scott faces, and it really does help him. Same with Derek. Derek was there for Scott since the beginning too, but he really saw he really respected Scott. Like eventually respected Scott and saw how different Scott was to him and really admired him for it.
Ended up saving my life. More than once. You know, we always seem to find each other anyway.
Now I know what kind of alpha you are.
Even Allison. You came back for Beacon Hills?
No, came back for you.
Who are they?
Everyone smile.
Guess we're not those same kids running around the woods looking for a body. No, we're not.
Who in the hell did that?
My friends. You came to help. I came to win. My pack. So no matter how bad things get, or how good, they always come back to the middle. Regression to the mean. I'm not so sure that applies to a town like this.
That was a long one, but it was really nice to watch that because it just gives you a big-ish summary of Scott and him being a true alpha and why he's a true alpha and why he's the way why he does I guess. And that was really cool. And I love Scott. He's one of my favorites and definitely someone I would stand by and fight with if he was a real person. If he was real, I would not go against him ever. I've seen things that happen if you do, so I'm okay. So I hope you guys like this video. It's a little longer, but it's I think you guys will like it. Please subscribe to my channel so I know you guys like Teen Wolf and you like this kind of thing, and I'll do more Teen Wolf related videos. Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to the person that brought Scott McCall back to life, Tyler Posey. for his amazing job of bringing this character to life. I just want to like thank him for this character and bringing us Teen Wolf. Yeah. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.